Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Parent and Family Services Summer Webinar Series. Today, I'm very excited that we are going to be chatting with our UAB Career Center to learn about all of the opportunities that are available to all UAB students to ensure that they are moving forward towards their career goals and what that can look like and how students can engage with the Career Center, as well as when and what they should be doing in order to kind of start that process, how early on. I want to talk about, before we get started on a couple of things, I do want to mention about utilizing the system today and how we want to make sure that this is a really engaging presentation for everyone. So for family members that are watching us through Zoom, we want you to make sure that you are getting your questions answered, and the easiest way for our family members who are participating through Zoom is to just put your questions into the Q&A box. And once our presentation is concluded, we will go through and monitor those or ask those particular questions that are shared there. I know we've also got some family members that are watching us through Facebook Live, and so we're excited that you're joining us that way as well. And so we are monitoring that. So if you have questions from the Facebook Live side of things, all you have to do is type in your comments or your questions into the comment section, and we will monitor those questions as well. Because this is a live presentation, we want to make sure to just send out a general reminder for everyone to please not share any information that is identifying regarding your students. So making sure you're not sharing full names, Blazer ID, anything along those lines, because we want to make sure that we are maintaining the safety and security of all of our students' information and their privacy. So again, welcome to the summer webinar series. We're excited to get started back up again for this week. And so I'm going to go ahead and invite Brandon Wright, our director for our UAB Career Center, to come online, and he is going to share with you all of the resources and opportunities available to our students.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you so much, Meredith. I'll go ahead and launch my presentation and share the screen. All right, make sure I know what I'm doing. All right. Okay. All right, we good, Meredith?
Looks great.
Awesome. Well, good morning once again. As Meredith has indicated, I am the director for the UAB Career Center in the Division of Student Affairs at UAB. And I will be presenting a little bit of information, just a snapshot of the services, resources, and programs that are available to your students as they are matriculating through the institution at UAB. And so we'll go ahead and get started. Once again, this is our title. We'll talk about the Career Center and also our hiring platform, which is known as Handshake. Here are some of the learning outcomes that we want every student that goes through this presentation to leave with. And so we want them to recognize the resources that are available to them. We want them to be able to identify their career consultant. We also want them to activate their Handshake profiles. And lastly, we want them to learn how to navigate the resources that are available through Handshake. And so we start this presentation out by addressing what employers are looking for from your students. And so we know that your students are coming to college so that they can have opportunities upon graduation for a better quality of life, for better job opportunities, for better job prospects. And what that comes with are these competencies. And so these competencies, you might have heard them called soft skills, but we like to call them hard because they cannot, they will support your students' application and make your students stand out from others if they're able to demonstrate critical thinking and problem solving, if they're able to demonstrate professionalism and work ethic, oral communication and teamwork, leadership, IT application and career management, and also global and multicultural fluency. And so these are competencies that employers are looking for from students when they matriculate through the institution, whether that's an internship or that is a job or a fellowship or research assistantship or anything like that. And so we really harp on these competencies because as employers are perusing 200 applications or resumes. They are looking for students to articulate their professionalism or their leadership skills in their resume. So we really harp on students making sure they understand when you come in, yes, we know that you want a degree, but you have to make sure that you articulate what the employers in this 21st century job market are looking for. And so IT is going to be even more important as we move through this post-COVID environment that we're in. And so we just really like to start the presentation off with what are employers looking for as your freshman student comes into college, and 4 years passes by extremely quickly. So we like to put this right up front and say, hey, these are the things you need to be these need to be your priorities of cultivation while you're here. You really need to work on these. And so we survey employers at all of our career fairs as they interact with our students. And this is how UAB students stack up on a Likert scale, 1 to 5, 5 being high proficiency. So you can see that, UAB students have really, high standings with these UAB recruiters. And so we survey about 200, a little bit over 200 respondents in this year. And so we're always appreciative of our employers for giving us this feedback, because it helps us understand where we need to focus our efforts in helping our students stack up better than some other grads or individuals at other institutions that might be applying for the same role. And so we're going to continue this process, but we like to demonstrate to you as parents, this is what you can assume will be your students' capacity upon their departure from the university if they take their time here seriously. And so we are extremely motivated by intentionality. And so we are true to that. And so you'll see exactly what I mean here moving through this presentation. And so moving on, I just wanted to kind of show you, first destination is where, basically means this is where students are going after college, after they graduate from UAB, in jobs and also in internships and different things like that, military. And so, 74% of students that come to UAB stay in Alabama after graduation, 6% go to Georgia, and 3% go to Florida. And we have about 16% that just are outside of Alabama. And you can see the salary ranges here. This is 2018 data. We do have the 2019 data now, but we have to wait for that to be verified. And so you can see the progression, the more education you get, obviously that still holds true from a UAB perspective as well. And this is really good information for you to know that when a student comes here, this is the geographical makeup of where you can expect for them to have opportunity. So 88% of our students upon graduation, out from 6 months out from graduation, are employed, continuing their education, or not seeking employment. Those are things that we call positive career outcomes. And so 88% is good compared to the national average. I think the national average is around 91%. And so we're moving in the right direction. This 2018 was the first year we had this data. So we're going to continue to try to move in the upward trajectory, even in the midst of COVID. People are still hiring. And so we just have to make sure that we work a little different, but I wanted to share this. So the point of emphasis here is that once your student encounters a hard course or encounters a hard instructor or doesn't know what they want to major in or has difficulty, we encourage you to plant in your students' minds that, hey, it's worth you persevering through this process, because your outcome goals are greater if you're able to endure the challenge at this point. And so, but if you leave or you transfer and different things like that, then your likelihood of having these sort of outcomes diminish. And so next we talk about the career consultants. And so there's 3 career centers on campus. And so there's a career center in engineering, and Deslyn Robinson is the career consultant there. So any students that are there, they will see Deslyn, and that's her email. And the Division of Student Affairs has a career center that services about 6 different schools. And Megan Butler, you can see her specialty areas there. Dino Martinez and Brittany Blackstock are the career consultants in the Division of Student Affairs. Adam Roderick, he is our Associate Director of Career Education. He also meets with students. As you can see, I also meet with student athletes, just to support. And then Peyton Roden is the career consultant in the Collette School of Business. So she meets with all students in the Collette School of Business, graduate and undergraduate. And so how can career consultants help your students? So we help with everything under the umbrella of career readiness. So preparing the resume for a freshman, helping them prepare for their first job on campus through interview prep, helping them search for a job, part-time job, or their internship, helping them get a better grasp on who they are, and helping them understand that, hey, you're not defined by your degree. Just so values, clarification, their professional brand, helping them navigate their network, and just be exploratory. Over 70% of people that graduate with a bachelor's degree 3 years out are not working in an area that's directly connected with their degree. And so we have to help students be able to articulate their goals and help them understand how to navigate between organizations. And I like to share that data point. And also, these students that are graduating right now from high school will work anywhere from 10 to 14 jobs in their work life in 3 to 5 different industries. And so we have to be very intentional about helping our students understand how to articulate their skill sets as they transition from these roles. So we also have peer career advisors in the Career Center, and they support all of our drop-ins. So our students can drop in at any time, and this year it'll be a virtual drop-in, and we have directions on what that looks like as well. But everything, if they don't make an appointment, if they can't make an appointment, they can drop in and get many of the same services that they would get if they made an appointment with a career consultant. But if they need some immediate help and they have some time between classes and they want to drop into the Career Center, they typically will see a career consultant. The career consultant has been trained and is led by our career education team to help with the career exploration, quick resume reviews, help them with their Handshake or LinkedIn, and also a number of these interview processes that might be different across these organizations, job and internship search, and then also once they get ready for graduate school. So we have about 8 peer career advisors, and so that means that someone's always available. So next, we'll talk about the career, the employer relations component within the Career Center. And so this piece of our organization really focuses on connections. So we'll be hosting this year 12 career fairs within our Career Center. There is a career fair for engineering students. And then there also is a career fair for the Collette School of Business. And students can learn about all these, in which you'll find out later in Handshake. We host employer panels, employer informational sessions. We were doing employer tours. We have on-campus interviews. We'll do those virtually this year. We also have an employer advisory board with 16 employers. And so we have a network of over 14,000 employers at this point, over 22,000 contacts. And so it's all about connections, and we truly believe in the power of transforming people's lives through connections. I think it's 77% of jobs are still found through networking. And so it's not through these big job boards, but it's through actually making a personal connection. And so that's what our employer relations team is about. We go out and develop new relationships. We cultivate existing relationships. We really try to bring our employer and stay connected to the industry. And so we know the trends and what's happening. And so we also have a career closet. So if students do not have professional attire for a career fair or interview or a conference, and they are presenting and they need some clothes, they can get those for free. We have everything, male and female, from top to bottom, shoes and all. So students can drop by scheduled in the fall. Those appointments have to be scheduled in order to maintain safety. And so we want to make sure that we continue to provide this resource, and the clothes are free. We were providing the clothes as a rental, in a rental format, but now when students come in and they complete a few different things, they will be gifted the clothes. And that'll be our gift to them. And so we're excited to be moving in that direction. And so Handshake is our platform for career success. Handshake has over 400,000 employers. It's actually 500,000 now. 100% of Fortune 500 companies. On an annual basis, 3.5 million jobs and internships circulate through the platform. It is in all 50 states and in 165 countries. Handshake is the #1 job search application for students right now. And so for recent graduates, this is the #1 job search engine. It's not LinkedIn, it is Handshake. And Handshake is partnered with over 800 schools as well. And so we are excited to be a part of the partnership with Handshake. And so we're not connected to all 400,000 employers at this point, but we're working in that direction. These employers are vetted. They are vetted. There's trust scores that are attached. They can be flagged. So we're we're protecting our students from harmful, from scams and different things like that. And so we're excited to be a part of the platform with Handshake. There's over 25,000 searches for students per month, and students who have a complete profile are 5 times more likely to be contacted by employers in Handshake. And so that's why we really push for students not only to activate, but to complete their profile, because opportunities are abundant in Handshake as long as students have done what they should be doing, which is focusing on their outcome goal when they get to UAB. So we don't ask for students to wait till their junior year or wait till their sophomore year to start focusing on what they want to do after college, because all of us know that, you know, this time passes quickly. So we really harp on being intentional from the start. And if you do that, you'll have some great opportunities. And so, like I said, it is available in the App Store on Apple and Android. It is the #1 job search app, and you can check for jobs, events, and also their messages from employers. So employers can message students in the app and different things like that. And in Handshake is also where we'll be hosting all of our career fairs this year as well, which we're excited about. And so I'm really excited to see, how we engage with employers, but also how our students are able to engage with employers this year through some of the changes that are being made with Handshake because of COVID-19. And so students can set up appointments. They can view all our career fairs, apply for jobs, look at on-campus employer interviews, all the different resources, and they can message students from other institutions in Handshake. So let's just say I'm Brandon and I'm majoring in business at UAB, and there's a student from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, that is majoring in business, and they've had an internship at Readiness, and I want to know what it takes So I can directly message this student inside of Handshake without exchanging any sort of personal information in a protected way, and get some insight into who I should contact, how I should apply, and different things like that. So it's a really cool network. And so these are the directions for your student to log on and select UAB. And then also identify some jobs and employers that they'd like to interact with, and then also complete the worksheet using selected jobs or employers. And so students have the opportunity to do a lot in Handshake, but it really starts with them logging in and completing their profile. And so this is essentially how it looks when students log in. It looks like a normal social media platform, but it is designed for students. And it has what they need to apply for jobs, and also to connect with employers, connect with other students with similar interests, and employers can connect with students as well. And this is what a profile looks like. Has everything from your education, your work experience, your volunteer, your skills, everything that's essential to recruiters. They've built it in so students have a brand that elevates them and supports their efforts. And so here are some of our social media links if you'd like to follow us or you're a student. And once again, we do have walk-in hours. And they can schedule appointments through Handshake, and those walk-in hours will be virtual this year. And once again, here are the learning outcomes that we have hoped to achieve through this presentation. And I'm gonna open it up for questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brandon, for all of that great information. Again, for our family members that are joining us through Zoom, I want to remind you that you can simply submit your questions in through the Q&A function that you'll find at the bottom of your screen for Zoom. If you're watching us through the Facebook Live platform, then all you have to do is put your questions into the comments section there. We are monitoring both of those places. So, Brandon, while people are kind of gathering and retaining all their questions that they wanted to ask, I do want to know, since a lot of our family members and participants today are probably family members of incoming first-year students, so totally new to this whole experience, what are some of the things that they should be encouraging their students to think about now, as well as once the fall semester starts, about the steps and things that their students should be doing regardless of major or program?
So there's a few assessments that I highly encourage, and all of these can be found in Handshake, so students can log in, and they can log in right now. If you're a student and you're a parent of a first-time freshman, and your student has a UAB email, they can log into Handshake and search the resources and complete the Focus 2 assessment. This is a personality. There's 5 different assessments in Focus 2. But what that does is it provides us with a guide that helps us have a more elevated conversation when we're able to meet with your student. So the personality assessment, the values assessment, the work interest assessment, the social leisure assessment, and the academic assessment. So we don't want your student to get off into a nursing major and then just find out that they don't like science, because this assessment has been tested and approved, and thousands of institutions have been partnered with Focus 2 for years. That Focus 2 assessment has a printout, and our career consultants are skilled at articulating what that means and supporting as a guide to your student, some direction for them. And so we like that Focus 2 assessment, which we encourage all first-time freshmen to complete before they get to the university. So that's number 1. But number 2 is make sure that the student understands that intentionality is of the essence in this time. And so make sure that when they come to college, that it's not just I'm gonna take a semester off or I'm gonna take a year off, but they're focused on joining a student organization that they have of interest, finding a mentor within their faculty ranks that they can connect with, finding some volunteer opportunities that are of interest to them, just making sure that they map out a plan. And we call those career success plans, and we have those as well. But those are a few things that we highly encourage students. 1, complete the focus. 2, get engaged. 3, find a mentor.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We're getting a few different questions in from both Facebook and our through Zoom. So the first one that's come in is, can you talk about, is there whoever the biggest employer is, or whoever you see specifically for our business students that are going to, where we're seeing the most of our students go and work for, or is there a particular largest employer that is taking on UAB students at this point?
Yeah, so UAB, UAB is our #1 employer, UAB Health, #2. The state of Alabama is #3, and Regions is on that list. Birmingham City Schools is on that list. Southern Power is on that list as well. And so those are a few, but like I said, over 70% of students stay in the state. I know from interactions that they recruit SHIP. SHIP is a big recruiter of our students. BVVA, they're a big recruiter of our students. A lot of hospitals recruit our business students as well. In the area like Brookwood, even up to Huntsville. Huntsville Hospital recruits a lot here, and they're actually one of our top 10 recruiters as well. And so, but ultimately, when you ask about the top recruiters, you know, UAB is, there's a lot of pieces of UAB. And so a lot of students tend to stay here, whether it's UAB Medicine or UAB Health Foundation or anything like that.
Perfect, thank you. A question that came in through Facebook is, do you have counselors discuss potential job opportunities regarding students, regarding majors that students may be considering? So maybe a student is contemplating a variety of different majors, so maybe communications versus public relations or other things along those lines. Do you have the opportunity for counselors to sit down and discuss with students what the different job opportunities would be based on those various areas of study?
Absolutely. And so these career consultants that we have, they don't really take a counseling technique with our students. We look at ourselves as the method of our practice is we're going to serve as a guide. We're going to serve as a consultant that has specialized insight into a specific area, like a psychology. What are the opportunities that are ahead of a student if they decide to major in psychology? Yes, we can sit down and talk about the major, but we're also going to talk about the skills that you develop while you are within that major, and how you can take that major and create your life with the skills that you have attained through that major. So yes, we do support them both at the peer career advisor level and also at the career consultant level. Typically when a student comes in, first they will meet with a peer career advisor, and then once it's made known that they have expressed an interest at having a more elevated conversation, they will have they can schedule an appointment with a career consultant.
Okay, perfect, thank you. I guess the last thing that I'm seeing at this point is just kind of, is there we talked a little bit about the, creating a mentor, doing the focus 2 assessments and all of those things. Is there a step or a track or a path, however that you want to say it, that a student should be following during their 4 years of their undergraduate experience in order to go on to whatever the next step is regarding their area of study?
Yeah, so we call those career success plans. And in a career success plan, the first year is really more so about being exploratory. And what that really means is making sure that you are focused on getting engaged on campus. So what that engagement looks like is going to vary for a bunch of people. If you got a student that's a student athlete, they're engaged. If you got a student that's going to be in the band, or you got a student that's going to come in and be an RA, that engagement looks different. We don't encourage students to overload themselves, but we want them to get engaged on campus. And so that second year really looks at making sure that students are starting the experience piece. So that experience can look like, we encourage 2 internships before you graduate. And so finding an internship during that sophomore year, finding a mentor that can help you, whether it's go into research, finding some experience with a lot of people who have a knack for the community will go towards volunteerism or service. And so look at that experience that is of interest to you. And then that third year as a junior, you really want to start nailing down your resume, your interview skills, so a lot of those things that happen within the professionalism rank, making sure that you got your professional attire, make sure you got your business etiquette. So if you get invited to lunch or you get invited to a webinar, that you understand how to articulate yourself and carry yourself. You really, during that junior year, want to start looking at also getting that internship, a second internship, but also nailing down your resume. And then that senior year, it's all about, the application process, right? So making sure that you're applying for what you see, what you want. And we encourage students to cast the net broad, right? Cast it broad, apply for what you might be of interest to, and make sure that you're engaging in networking events, because networking is still key towards securing some opportunity upon graduation. And so, that senior year is really about applying and networking, and perfecting your interview, perfecting your brand, so that upon graduation, you have multiple offers. And we do have several students who've done those steps, have walked upon that windy path. And everyone's path is going to be different. So it's not a set. We only have pillars, right? We have, make sure that you're exploratory your first year and all these type of things. But everyone's exploratory will look different. And so, but yes, we do have a path for that. It's called a 4-year success plan.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Brandon. And I think that's all the major questions that have come in at this point. I know for our family members, we are going to repost this particular presentation. You can, if you want to share it with students or other family members, it will be posted both on our Facebook page as for Parent and Family Services, as well as off the Parent and Family Services website for you to go back to and refer to at any point in time. And I know, and please, if at any point after any of this, there are questions that pop up, please don't hesitate to contact us. And I know, Brandon, for your area, it's the same, that you're very open and wanting family members and specifically their students to reach out to you for anything that they may need or want. I just want to say thank you, ultimately, though, for you taking some time to share all of these resources and opportunities with our family members. When I was in college, quite a long time ago, I definitely took advantage of doing all the different internships. And I think that the thing that people tend to forget about internships is, yes, it gives you a lot of great experience on a potential career path, but it's also a great insight into figuring out very quickly if it's not a career path for you, because it's just as valid sometimes to discover that you don't like something, and then you're only in it for a short period of time and get some great experience from it, but then can move on to the next better, greater thing. So yeah. I just want to say thank you for sharing all of that.
If I can share this, I played football in college, and I thought, a general step would be to go to be a coach. And so upon my completion from football in college, my coach offered me a graduate assistantship for the football team. I said, oh, yeah, this is going to be great. A semester in, I was like, this coaching thing is not for me. These are 18-hour days. All I'm doing is washing laundry and setting up the field and, these type cutting up film. I was like, I'm going to have to find something else. I did an internship for Wagner College up in New York City, and was like, wow, people get paid to work on a college campus? I think I can do this. I like this. I like this. And, that internship turned into, a career for me. And so I agree with you. It's just as important to understand what you do not want to do. And a lot of times the way you find that out is you try it, right? It's like food. You got to try it first, and then you can't say you don't want to do something until you haven't tried it. And so, especially in this job market situation. And so, and I do encourage people to do that. And so have the conversations, listen to people's stories. You can learn a lot from people's stories as well about whether or not something's for you or not. And so, that's a very valid point, Meredith, very valid point.
It worked wonders for me, similar to what you were saying. I truly didn't know. I had multiple different paths and thoughts and options and ideas. And I participated in 3 different internships in undergrad and ultimately chose a field in none of them. So it's just truly, but they were great experiences and I still refer to them all the time. And so regardless of the fact that I didn't actually become employed in those particular fields, the skill sets and the knowledge that I gained from those fields has been able to be very applicable to multiple different aspects of my current career path. So, and I did all of that through utilizing advantages like the career centers and things along those lines. So I just want to say thank you for sharing this information with our families today so that we know that we're getting our family members and our students connected early on so that they are able to find that place where they are happy and successful.
So thank you so much for the opportunity, Meredith.
I appreciate it very much. Again, if there are any questions after this presentation, please don't hesitate to contact either one of our offices. We are here for you and for your student. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful rest of the week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.